Let's get into it. Sold Not For Sale podcast. Coach Colin here. We got two clips from Joe Rogan today. One clip, he is pretty much just going off on progressives and leftists and these people who try to set this dangerous precedent of weaponizing the justice system, like Alvin Bragg and Jack Smith and Letitia James and Fani Willis and all of those people. Sorry, mispronounced. It's actually Fani Willis. My apologies. Sorry about that. But he goes off on them, and then the first clip I have is actually pretty much like a Trump. I don't want to say a Trump love fest, but his guest, Roddy B, that's what I call him because I don't know how to say his name, or I'll say Rog Blago. I'll just say Blago because that's what he wants to call his production company. He just brings home the point of how incredible Trump is. And you guys know I'm never going to miss an opportunity to listen to a clip like that. So let's get right into it.
It's kind of a psycho. You have to be the type of person that tweets, "I hate Taylor Swift." Like, it's just
I know.
Maniac mindset. But without that, you don't
endure all of that. The guys had a lot more success than me because I was just I was a middling guy who did it for 1 year. But I know exactly what you're saying. Can I say something about tough guys and Trump real quick?
Sure.
To go back to Trump, because the point you made I thought was really interesting, that you got to have that kind of self-love to endure all of that shit they threw at him. And you got to.
Well, you have to be a psycho. And he's kind of a psycho. You have to be the type of person that tweets, "I hate Taylor Swift." Like, it's
I know.
Maniac mindset. But without that, you don't keep fighting.
Right.
Like, they tried to kill him twice.
That's right.
You know, and one of them nicked his ear. And there was literally people online doubting whether or not he got hit. You see blood coming off of his ear.
Yeah.
People were saying it was staged so that he could avoid prison. I mean, I heard prominent people say these things.
Yes.
Some prominent woman tweeted that he got shot because he's trying to get out of jail, out of going to jail. Like, this is like, I don't care what you were trying to say. That's such an insane take on a former president who's running for office again being assassinated. You should be against assassinations. Assassinations are horrible. It's against the law. It's one of the most horrific. No matter what did he do? He paid off a lady. Is that what he did?
Yeah.
You think he should get shot in the fucking head for that?
Well said.
Like, what did he do?
Yeah.
What did he do that you think he deserves getting shot in the fucking head?
Yeah.
And this complete lack of appreciation that the whole thing is rigged. The whole thing is corrupt. That's not good for you either. It's not good for anybody. Just because you label yourself a liberal, you can't watch them throw the Constitution in the toilet.
Right.
You can't just sit back and watch them because, yeah, that's good. They're doing it against Trump.
That's
he
it.
got shot? Good.
Right.
Are you crazy? People getting shot is good? How are the love people, the progressive people, the people on the left? How are they like, "I wish that guy didn't miss"? How are they doing that? Because that's how lost we've gotten with this mainstream political narrative. They feed you what you're supposed to think, and you never have the ability to think it out for yourself. It's like groups of people just going through the information and coming to a conclusion as a country. Instead, you have to be on a car, like in prison.
That's right.
And you got to be with
A
this
thought
group.
car. A thought car.
It's basically the same
That's
thing.
exactly right.
You're in a gang. You're just not in the Aryan race.
Well said.
You're in the left-wing progressives.
Right.
And they'll
Exactly.
turn on you. They all turn on each other. They do it all the time because they're all just scrambling for stature.
Joe, can I just say one more thing about Trump on this subject? Self-love, personal toughness, for sure. But can I say something else? This man, I honestly believe this, truly loves America. He isn't just doing this because he wants to be the president. He's already been that. And he's got all this great success. How do you live the life he's lived? Give that up. Go into that shithole business I was in that I know all too well, to have to deal with all these phony politicians and suffer these assholes, these duplicitous hypocrites in your party and the other party, which is what most of them are.
Right.
There's a lot of good ones, but more of them than not are full of shit. They're weak, they're cowardly, and they go along with the kind of trends that you were just talking about.
Yeah.
When you go through something what Trump went through and you keep doing it, it's more than just his own self-love. I truly believe he has a genuine, abiding love in his country. I think in his mind, I'm guessing, I'm putting this in his mind, kind of thinking about my own kind of experience. He's saying to himself, if I have to go down fighting for my country, I'm going to do it. And I think that helps motivate him, get stronger and tougher when he is convinced that it isn't just about his ego or himself, but it's something higher and bigger, like what America's supposed to be. Does that make any sense?
It does. And anybody that would push back against that, I would say, listen, before you even form an opinion, I want you to think about what happened when he got shot. So he gets tackled. He's got blood coming out of his ear. Guns go off. Guy behind him's dead. Guy got shot protecting his family. He stands up and he throws his hand up in the air and says, fight, fight, fight.
Yeah.
That's not fake.
Right.
Like, that's in the moment after getting hit by a bullet, covered by the Secret Service. Guy behind him's dead. How many gunshots had rung off? 9 shots between the snipers killing him shooting. I think he shot 3 times.
Yeah, right.
And then he fight.
Beautiful.
That's in the moment.
That's right.
That's in the moment.
That's right.
Everybody loves America, including people that aren't in America, which is why so many people are sneaking over to America. Okay? There's not a whole lot of people sneaking into Libya. Everybody loves America.
Why?
It's the
Why?
But it's because of personal freedom.
And
because you can be somebody here.
That's
no matter who you are.
You could be Joe Rogan, a kid who's 15, getting on the public transportation to do kicking and martial arts and become what you are. You can be me.
You could be anything you want.
Yeah.
You could be a doctor, a lawyer, an author, a painter, a musician. You can do anything you want.
And no other place in the world offers it like this place does.
And this place celebrates it.
That's right.
I have a friend of mine from the UK. When he moved over here, one of the first things he said was, in England, they try to push you down if you try to get ahead. Like, they'll try to dismiss you. It's like tall poppy syndrome. They don't want anybody rising above everybody else. Very discouraging.
Well, that's the socialist mindset. That's the new Democratic Party today.
Yeah.
It isn't about celebrating somebody else's success and saying, hey, I want to be like him, or that guy's success has actually created more opportunities for me to be better off than what I am now. It's instead pull him down so we can make everybody equal.
It's generally very energetic people who don't have any ambition. So they have all this energy, and they put their energy into this nonsense instead of like sorting your life out and pursuing something for yourself. There's multiple things that have changed our timeline, and one of the big ones is him being elected, because that means they dropped those cases and all that weaponizing of the justice system didn't work. If it did work, that is such an insanely dangerous precedent to set. When you see things like the documents case or the real estate case, which is the most disgusting one, pretending that Mar-a-Lago, that somehow or another someone was a victim because he overvalued Mar-a-Lago, even though he paid all those loans back and the banks profited from it. There was no victim at all. And yet they fine him this insane amount of money and try to say that Mar-a-Lago was worth $18 million. That is just such a slap in the face of anybody that understands. First of all, anybody that understands property values in that area. That's preposterous to say that place is only $18 million. It's an enormous property and the most expensive real estate in the United States, or one of the most expensive places for real estate. And there was just so many of these cases over and over and over again that just right in everyone's face. And very little pushback, no pushback from the media at all. They went along with it as if these 34 felonies for a bookkeeping error that is essentially a misdemeanor that's past the statute of limitations, and now you're marking it up as a felony, but you can't even identify the felony. The whole thing is madness. And all these news organizations, because they don't like Trump, are going along with this insanely dangerous precedent. Because if that goes through, well, what happens if Republicans get into office and you have some new Democrat that you really love, and this Democrat is a real challenge and a threat to the Republican, and they start doing the same that you did? Or is that what you want? You want us to be a banana republic just because you don't like Trump? I mean, it just shows you how many people were willing to sacrifice all of their ethics, all the things that they believe in, what the Bill of Rights stands for, what the Constitution stands for. Fuck all that. We don't want this guy to win. Throw it all away. And then you throw everything away. Then we have no freedom of speech. We have no nothing. It's all gone. The whole thing is so mind-boggling how short-sighted people are in the name of wanting their side to win.
Well said. I don't want to sound like an egomaniac, but I got to tell you, they got away with it with me, and they got emboldened then to say we can do it to a Democratic governor, the 5th largest state in America. We can get away with it. Non-crimes that we make up and call them certain things that are sexy sounding, sale of the Senate seat. That eventually was reversed by the appellate court. They could never uphold that unlawful standard. 3 fundraising requests where there was no quid pro quo. I got convicted of that. None of it was personal corruption. Nobody said I even took a penny. And they gave me 14 years because I was fighting against them and exposing them. So it started, I really believe, with me. And they got away with it with me, and it's some of the same people. Comey, Fitzgerald, those people were doing it to Trump with Russia collusion stuff. Yeah. And some of the same people then went on and have been doing it as part of a, get this, organized political campaign that came right out of the Oval Office, out of the the Democratic National Committee, the DNC, into the DOJ. They've corrupted the Department of Justice and the FBI, and they've corrupted the rule of law and the Constitution, and this is no small thing. And just because Trump won, because the American people are beginning to get it, doesn't mean we're safe. The Trump administration, God willing, is going to do something very serious about this. If there's anything that this administration can do to make America great again, is to protect our rights and our freedoms, and to hold the people that do this accountable and make an example of them, not to be vengeful, but because it's just, and because it sends a message to these unaccountable prosecutors who have no check and balance, that if they do this and frame innocent people, they're going to be treated the same way as a dirty cop who plants a murder weapon to frame an innocent man.
As they should be.
Look at this guy, Andrew Weissman, on CNN. He's got a big spot at CNN, the legal expert. You ever see this guy?
No.
Anyway, he was a former U.S. attorney, and he made his name by destroying Arthur Anderson, a company that had all these people working for him, in an accounting company nationwide, one of the biggest accounting firms in America. He used a standard that wasn't lawful to get convictions on them. Eventually, the United States Supreme Court took the case, and they ruled 9-0, unanimous, that the standard that Weissman used to prosecute Arthur Anderson was an unlawful standard. But the damage was done. That company went bankrupt. All those people lost their jobs. And this Andrew Weissman gets promoted and becomes this legal expert and scholar on CNN. That guy, Fitzgerald, Comey, and people who do this, Jack Smith, Alvin Bragg, Letitia James, they ought to go right to jail.
Man, I'm telling you, I like this guy. This guy he's writing a book right now. It's coming out soon. I think this guy needs to do a podcast and just talk about this stuff more, because he was involved in a lot of dealings in regards to politics and talking about how things work. When you listen to him break down how Obama's calling him about a Senate, wants to put this person in the seat, and he's like, okay, but like, what do we get out of this? And there's a whole deal, and Obama sends a third party because Obama doesn't want to be seen having this conversation. And it's just like, wow, the way this guy breaks it down and how much he knows. Because the thing is, anybody could be, you could be a part of politics, but like Chicago dirty politics is something else. You know what I mean? It's like New York dirty politics. It's different. It's a little different. Especially the way this guy breaks it down is actually absolutely great. And he's 100% right about all these people. And so is Joe. Imagine if all of this worked. For me, I was watching all this play out and none of it worked for a second. I was like, oh, the guy they don't like is running for president and now he's a criminal. I'm like, okay, well, go figure. Like that just happened. Okay. All right. I guess that's what they're going with. But they went really hard. They went they went Robert De Niro in front of a courthouse hard. How dumb does that guy feel now? How dumb does that guy feel now? In front of the courthouse with two fraudulent Capitol Hill police. You know what I mean? Capitol police officers. And two of them, I don't even want to get into those guys. Those guys are frauds. But he's with those guys talking a bunch of nonsense, saying all this stuff about Trump, how he's this and that, and nothing about politics or policy, everything just about character. Doesn't even know the guy on top of that, and admits that he's doing it for Biden and Kamala Harris. It's like, he's the worst. I can't wait. Oh my God. I can't wait until like another movie. I don't think so. I think even Hollywood, as leftist as Hollywood is, they're like, yeah, no, we're good on Robert De Niro. No, we don't need any more De Niro. I think we're done. I think it's over for him. I think this is it. He said he's moving to Canada. I hope he has fun. Have fun with communism, I guess. I don't know. Can you imagine he moves to Canada? And then all of a sudden he's watching the news. He's like, Canada's become the 51st state of America. Trudeau's a governor? What? It's just Trudeau and Trump standing together. Thank you for taking over Canada, sir. My first act, We're deporting Robert De Niro. Robert De Niro, I know you're in here. I know you're in Canada somewhere. We're deporting you. Whatever the name De Niro, wherever that's connected to, you're going back there. Okay? Wherever your grandparents are from, you're going there. And then that's it for him. But, jokes aside, this stuff could have worked. I mean, Trump's lawyer, like, remember when she was doing this in regards to Letitia James?
Coming from the judge who has already predetermined that my client committed fraud before we even walked into this courtroom. I'm not here to hear what he has to say. Then why exactly am I being paid as an attorney, and why exactly are taxpayer dollars being used in this courtroom? The answer is very clear. Because Miss James wants to stand right here like she did this morning and call my client a liar, call the company fraudulent, and make a name for herself.
Like, Trump was fighting for his life. I mean, they were putting up a solid fight. I'm going to shrink this screen a little bit. They were putting up a solid fight and everything, but they were fighting for this guy's life. And this woman was out here every day in front of this courthouse talking about how this is all a sham, and the media is just like, no, it's not a sham. He's gonna be a felon. Oh, he might go to jail. He's facing this. He's facing that. It was crazy. It was crazy to watch this machine. Thinking back, watching Kamala Harris and the machine activate for her, that was nonsense. It was just nonsense. Like, Joy Reid's like, she's a phenomenon. She's a cultural phenomenon. And it's like, what are you talking about? What? No, it was just nonsense. This was really scary because all of the media was basically just saying, we're going to go along with him being a criminal for as long as we can. We're going to beat this into the ground. We're going to beat this into people's realities. And then when you started looking into the cases, none of the cases made sense. Now all of a sudden it's like, thinking back to this, she said that the judge right away was like, I'm not here to hear what he has to say. All of these people, exactly what Rod was saying, all of these people might be on the hook for what they did. And honestly, I hope they are. I don't want it to become a banana republic, like Joe was saying. Nobody wants that. But to what Rod said, not doing it because it's vengeful, and that's the thing to do, to take revenge, but because it's just. That judge that she's talking about that's like, I don't want to hear what he has to say. That's not due process. Letitia James running on the fact that she was going to get Trump and actually went out and did it and wasted so many tax dollars and had Trump waste so much money and actually tried to hamstring a presidential candidate from campaigning and going around the country. Like, it's crazy. Jack Smith just popping up and just deciding to do what he did. Alvin Bragg being like, well, it's not a felony, but we'll make it a felony. All of these people need to be on the hook. Whoever worked for the DOJ and then took a massive pay cut and a downgrade to go work in Alvin Bragg's office just as he's deciding to go after Trump. All of these people should be on the hook. Again, not for revenge, but because what is all that? Think about that. What is all that's crazy? All of that's craziness. And, what are any of us doing that's, akin to running for president? Not much. Although there very is possibly somebody watching who is going to run for president one day and doesn't even know it yet. You're out there. You're definitely out there. But we're not doing anything like this. So, like, would the machine activate like this against us? I don't know. But the thing is, the more you let it activate, the more you let the beast feed, the more it will feed. And it will reach down and down and down until it is doing it to just regular Americans. It's actually crazy, And now we're hearing this. This is just a quick clip. Listen to this. Let me shrink this screen down. Why are my screen so big right now? Shrink this down some more.
Georgia prosecutor in the Trump election meddling case testifies before the House Judiciary Committee. That's Nathan Wade, and he admitted he met with White House staff on several occasions while working on the investigation that was led by Fulton County DA Fani Willis. He also says he had to brush up on his knowledge of racketeering law. So that continues. Georgia,
like her boyfriend met with people, White House staff, about the Trump case. It's so, all of this is so out of hand and so deranged, so unhinged. The fact that I'm so glad it's all coming out now, nice and not even really slow. This is, as soon as Trump was announced president, all of a sudden it's like the whole house of cards just starts falling and falling and falling, because people realize, oh, the guy that we were just trying to lock up and we were breaking laws in order to do so left and right, he's actually going to become president. He's probably going to investigate all of this. We better get on the right side of things. Like, that's why Zuckerberg's doing what he's doing. That's why you're seeing the news start. You're starting to see CNN kind of shift the way that they're acting now. Sonny from The View's reading legal notes. Whoopi Goldberg's arguing with Sonny. It's like, well, because they're all realizing, oh, we can't do this anymore. The guy made it. The guy that we just walked through hell actually made it. It's crazy, man. Crazy. Listen to this.
Pam Bondi talks about investigating the investigators. Do you want her to investigate Jack Smith?
I want her to do what she wants to do.
Do you want to see Jack Smith investigated?
Well, I think he's very corrupt, but I want her to do whatever she has to do.
Are you going to direct her
to
prosecute
I'm not.
Jack
She's
Smith?
a very smart person. She was a great attorney general in Florida. She's very experienced. I want her to do what she wants to do. I'm not going to instruct her to do it now.
Pam.
And honestly, I respect that. You know, that's what Trump did with Hillary Clinton. He didn't want them to go after her. He thought it would look bad. You know, he's showing the same type of mercy when it comes to Jack Smith and all these people. But honestly, in terms of actual justice and correcting the way that this system has been weaponized, that actually needs to happen. And it's not just to go after those people. That's not the thing. It's to cut out that cancer. Like, if they were doing these things and they were doing them unjustly and they were doing them to a presidential candidate, you can't trust them to be in these positions anymore. So whatever has to happen has to happen. You can't right now we can't go back to a world where Jack Smith is just like, well, that was something, huh? On to the next thing. No, not on to the next thing, man. You're done. You're done. We can't trust what you do anymore at all, ever. Letitia James, Fani Willis, her boyfriend. Can't trust any of these people anymore. They can't just be working in those positions. They can't be in the government. They can't be in law anymore. They gotta go. They gotta go. Am I wrong? I don't think so, man. I think this is too much. It's too much. That's why I like what Kash Patel has to say here. I'm so ready. I've never in my life thought I'd be excited for an FBI director. In my life, never thought that before.
Jack Smith has just been exposed by Judge Cannon of doing what? Lying to a federal court. These guys keep doing it. The judge just unsealed documents in the Jack Smith case down in Florida, which says the prosecutors themselves have admitted to tampering with evidence, to moving the very boxes from one location outside of D.C. to South Florida before they ever even charged Donald Trump. How in the world can you not be prosecuting and charging these constitutional gangsters that are at DOJ? And they learn it from the same place, the top down, the same AGs, the same DAGs, the same FBI directors who are cheering them on. I hope Judge Cannon, he's an actual fun legal thing that should actually be occurring. Judge Cannon should be implementing actual contempt proceedings against Jack Smith and the Department of Justice for lying to a federal judge and withholding evidence of exclusion and innocence from Donald Trump. Those contempt proceedings would be righteous, and I'd like to see those. Maybe we could put Jack Smith in prison.
See what I mean? This is not a lot of people will take this as a tit for tat type of thing. When Kash Patel says that, it's like, oh, he's a Trump loyalist and that's why he's doing this and he's going after people. If he did everything that was just said by Kash Patel, because I don't have a law degree. I don't know about law and everything. I'm a guy that gives my opinion. I'm not like that. Kash Patel is very well versed in this world. If Jack Smith did all of that, he's done. Am I going to say, oh yeah, throw him in prison? If that's what the charge is, Trump had a charge that wasn't a felony that wouldn't see jail time. And they decided that it was a felony and that he would see jail time. This is crazy. and again, it can't go back to normal. It can't go to where months from now, 6 months from now, we're talking about Jack Smith on another case. That can't happen anymore. If he did all that, it can't happen anymore. Fani Willis, all of them, they're just all it's right back to business as usual. You can't have that. That's the part of draining the swamp. So as much as you don't want the banana republic, and as much as you don't want to do the whole tit for tat thing and be vindictive, as much as all that's very true, you do have to get rid of the people that are the massive problems. And everyone who tried to set this precedent with Trump needs to go. They need to go. Prosecutions, everything. And that goes for Fauci. That goes for all these people. They can't just, you know what I mean? I'm not talking about revenge. Exactly what Rod said. I'm not talking about revenge. I'm talking about justice. This just makes sense. You know? How many ways can I explain this? If somebody was just like a straight up criminal and they had like attempted murder, you don't see them out the next day like, hey, what's going on? Huh? Oh, did you get stitches? No, they go to jail. Because the thing they did was against the law. And if the things that all these people did were against the law, I hope it happens. I don't know. Because, you know, I get it. Trump's sitting back and he doesn't want to seem like that vengeful person because he doesn't want to seem like Biden. Biden said, oh, I'm not going to pardon my son. No one's above the law and blah, blah, blah. And then he goes and does it. And everybody would have had respect if he just did it, but nobody respects the fact that he lied. And now Trump has said success is going to be the revenge. I'm not looking for that type of revenge. I don't want to be vengeful. And now all of a sudden, if he goes back and says, I am going to tell them to prosecute all these people, then it looks like maybe he was lying. I don't think so, but that's what the media would spin it into for sure. But man, those people need to be gone after. How... I'm gonna end it here, guys. I don't know what else to say. Oh man, just like, subscribe, turn on the notifications, and let me know what you think in the comment section. Other than that, I'm out.